Good morning. I have decided to learn to be a yoga teacher, and I'm going to share my healing journey with everyone as I go along it. So, the most important thing I think I can give as a teacher is to remind people that all of life is healing. Every day you have the opportunity to move your body in a new way that's going to be more beneficial for you and your life. Every day you have the opportunity to spend differently, to speak to those around you differently, to choose what you put in your mouth, what you listen to, what you watch. So I have been trying to say that I have healed from my own traumas by avoiding it and not talking about it, trying to falsely move on. But the truth is, they are what make me, they are who I am. And avoiding my identity is actually only helping to grow the false self. And I want a true self. Um, I might move my brand forward under that idea, but for now, I'm just going to get into the habit of filming, posting on my personal vlog for right now. It's been a very long time since I have done that, and I'm just going to focus on today very gentle movements. I have two herniated discs right now in my lower back. Um, I've literally broken my back for money being a truck driver, and it's not rewarding. It's not fulfilling, and it's definitely not the example that I want to set for Aiden and Ilya when they come back into my life. So I made the decision that while I am forced to be out of work, I'm going to change my focuses. My first focus was actually cybersecurity. It's pretty cool being able to, packet sniff and identify what's going on in a network. And if you have any interest in that, I definitely suggest you get into that. But for me, I needed something right now where it focuses on my movement, on my health, on gaining my strength. And 5 years of sitting behind a wheel, breathing in diesel fumes, not getting proper sleep, it's taken a toll on my health. So I have made the decision that being a yoga instructor will not only help my body heal, but it will help my mind heal, my emotions heal. The last time I was an instructor, Aiden and Ilya lived with me. So there's a lot of emotions that come up with the pain of my children being kidnapped from me. And even more pain and frustration and social stuff coming at me because I chose not to drag my mother through court and not to destroy my children's lives with an ego struggle, because that's all it can be with Sean. So, this is an opportunity for me to show a true example of what it looks like when you do your own yoga routine. I'm going to have to learn a bunch of vocabulary and history of the actual practice of yoga. But from my understanding, the core of yoga is coming into your body. And I've had to do that my whole life. So I think that gives me a unique opportunity to give that to other people. Now, when you are doing yoga, you're probably going to have a lot of these insights come to you as you're in a movement. And this is why I definitely suggest in all of my practices, always, no matter what I've taught, to be well aligned I would much rather you have your joints properly stacked, meaning head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over feet kind of thing. Um, so that when a moment of emotion comes to you, you can release it. I think that's the biggest lesson I have, especially for men traditionally, is that when you're doing this stuff, your body's going to want to release tensions. And one of the ways that your nervous system releases tension is through emotionally charged tears. So, what we would call crying. And sometimes that crying is extremely intense, full body tightening, and lots of heavy breathing. I mean, think about it. Crying is actually healing. Now, we're not talking crocodile tears. Don't try to force yourself to get into a position. Don't try to force yourself to feel an emotion. If you feel just a little bit of emotion, but it doesn't produce tears, that's okay. All I'm saying is that if your body is trying to produce tears or sobs or any sort of sounds, any sort of movements, allow your body to make those movements within the understanding that if it's a jerk, if it's aggression, you let it out in a healthy, sustainable way. All right, so what I'm going to try to do here, I know that my weak spots are my wrists. They're very, very weak. Due to my injury, my left ankle into my left knee and hip and lower back um, are in pain and numb. I actually go to see the doctor again in about 2 weeks. So for these next 2 weeks, my focus, my goal for my particular needs are going to be around stretching out that lower hip area and that lower back area. It just got completely neglected while I was a trucker, and as you get older, it's going to move on yourself as you can. Now, I'm a very firm believer in gently moving your body and continuously moving your body, especially when you're first beginning. When you're first beginning, even these slight movements are going to be uncomfortable. I mean, they're going to be moving your core around, which gets all that visceral fat, all your guts moving around. And for some people, that can produce acid, that can produce like cramping, that can produce like just very uncomfortable feelings coming through your body. So I just I want to start for myself with very small, light movements. Can't do too much of those. My something's torn right there. Something we get the MRI next month, and that's really the key is continuous movement. If you look at what they call blue zones, where there's lots and lots of people who live healthy, long lives, not long lives in the hospital, but healthy, long lives, uh, they move. They move constantly. They're usually garden. They usually go walking up like steep mountains or down steep mountains. So I want you to keep in mind that we were designed to move. If you're watching this, you're probably in a modern society that has modern cages. You lay down in a bed, you wake up, you go sit in a car, you go to a job for, anywhere from 8 to 18 hours a day. And most of the time, it's either completely sedentary, you're just sitting in an office, sitting in a truck, or it's extremely hard labor. You are out there moving and hustling in extreme weather and crushing yourself. And then you go sit in your car, go home, go sit on a couch and either play on your phone or watch TV, and then you go lay down. And we do this for years and years and years. And then we're told that, oh, it's just the part of life that we break ourselves. And that's not necessarily true. We are a result of our routines and of our actions. So, my biggest thing is if you are stuck in that kind of lifestyle because you're not financially free yet, another reason why I have Your Money Signs, I'm the CEO of Your Money Sign, because I want to teach people how to, especially in modern societies, set yourself up so you have the freedom, literally, to free yourself. More movement, more nutrition in the food that you have. Less food, better quality food. That's what I want. That's what I try to go for. Um, I just think that it's important to not quiet your voice, your inner self. We have a true self, and most of us started having to create a false self as early as being a toddler. We were told you cannot cry in a grocery store. We were told you cannot, you have to share your toys. You're not allowed to want to actually own anything in this life. We're told that you have to man up to little tiny boys who are going through genuine emotional pain. Or we're told to wipe your tears and put on a smile for your pretty face when we're going through genuine pain as young girls. And that creates a false self. When you man up, when you toughen up, what you're actually doing is creating a narcissistic mask. And we're taught by our parents, by our society, that that's what we're supposed to do. And for many of us, we never take it off. We always struggle. We always put on that mask and we never heal. And then we wonder why we feel empty and why we get so much aggression and why we can't have truly sustainable relationships. You get two people who their masks look like they match, and so they get together and try to force it to happen. But the true self, the self that is genuine, they're not a match. And I'm very, very guilty of doing that myself. And I mean, at 40 years old, it's about time that I start living the true self and showing people how not only to live your true self, but to raise children to understand their true self. It's incredibly important to me, coming from the struggles that I saw my grandfather and my father and my mother go through. It's incredibly important, this true self concept, because we are literally telling our children, we're going to sabotage you and destroy you for many, many decades. And then we're going to turn around and say you're the problem. It's incredibly sad, it's incredibly overwhelming, but at the same time, I'm only one person. I can only change my world, and hopefully that helps you to understand how to change yours. That's what it is. Love me, hate me, joke about me, be serious about me. That's a reflection of you. And I want you to notice that all of these movements that I do are essential movements. No matter your fitness level, if you can be doing these different movements, especially just whatever your body, your true self is telling you to move. Maybe you're tight in one area. Maybe you are just having some emotional frustration in a certain area. Be true to yourself. Move in a form that is true to you. Don't copy me. Don't try. I mean, if you're trying to perfect one of the moves that I teach, especially when I start my channel and actually genuinely teach, then cool. Copy it to the point where you know what the moves are and then make it your own. Make it your own. See if maybe you can shift your weight a little to the side, a little to the front, a little to the back while keeping that strong balance. See where you're at. Maybe a little bit of movement actually stretches your muscle a lot more than a big movement. I want you to start truly understanding that you are the one who gets to choose who you are, what you're feeling, where you're at. Stop all this crap about, oh, you're supposed to or you need to. You know, I lost my teeth years ago in a trucking accident, and I have had tons of people, oh, you're so pretty, you need to go to a dentist. What? I've had doctors tell me that they think that I'm a drug addict, which I've never even touched marijuana, let alone a heavy drug. I've never even touched a cigarette. You know, people are so used to putting on a mask and then judging everybody that by that mask. Very few people have come to me and said, "Oh, wow, what happened with your teeth? Tell me your story." And when they find out my story, that I'm a trucker, I was genuinely trying to help somebody else, and the securement bought me in the face. I lost my teeth. And I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars just to have pretty teeth when I can currently be putting those thousands of dollars into investments, into my businesses. So, you know, people can judge me that I don't look a certain way, but they're never going to make me question it because I know I'm building a better future for myself and for my children when they come back into my life. Another thing that I think is important for me to do as a future teacher is to learn how to do different lengths of lessons. I think I would like to do a 5-minute positivity where I just have people sit in a pose or stand in a pose, and then I just say some positive words for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and then wish them the best of their day. And then have ones where it's just a 15-minute, quick, gentle routine. And then have longer session where it's like an hour. And then I do think I should have some sessions that are just a few that are a multi-hour session for people who are truly bedbound. You know, when you're bedbound, going through all these YouTube videos that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes long, and of course, half of it is them promoting themselves, it's very saddening. It's very detrimental. So I think that's what I'm going to do for today because I'm at 17 and a half minutes, and I don't know actually how long these videos can be for me to upload them. Oh, and I don't know how I'm going to upload this to the other channel. I guess I have to add the channel to this. All right, I have to stop being a troglodyte. I got to learn how to do this stuff. So that is my vlog for this morning. I am going to I guess the biggest thing for me is to take off the false self. The true self is that I share and that I'm a teacher and I use technology to do so. And I'm not going to be afraid of that anymore. I learn, I'm curious, and I'm not always right, but I do always share my lessons with people who want to hear it. And this is a beautiful platform to let me do so. So it's scary. I feel completely alone, but I'm going to build my tribe and find out where I belong and live until I'm in a happy, long life blue zone, I guess.